Hello everyone, this is Jason Matthew from We Can EduTech. So recently we had a training session on Zoom, how to set up Zoom accounts, how to use Zoom, and a lot of questions were around how to use breakout rooms. So in this video today, we're going to be focusing on just that, how to use breakout rooms. So first question is, what is a breakout room? Well, if you are having a Zoom session, you have everyone in the main session. So you have the host and you have the participants. And, because we're looking at an education setting, the host will be the teacher, the participants will be the learners. So you have everybody in the main session. But during that main session, you want to have smaller groups. Well, you can do that using the breakout rooms function in Zoom. So when you activate breakout rooms and you allow it to work, your participants is divided into different rooms. So the participants in room 1 will work independently of the participants from room 2 and room 3 and so on. And you as the host, as the teacher, you are able to go in all of these rooms while the breakout room session is going on. So you can interact with the students in each of these rooms. And when the breakout room session is finished, then all the students will return to the main session. So breakout rooms allows for dividing your participants into smaller groups. Breakout rooms is a feature that is available for both the pro as well as the regular accounts. But if you are not seeing it right away, it means that it's not activated as yet, because breakout rooms is not activated by default. You have to actually activate that feature. So in this session today, we're going to be looking at a few things. We're going to be looking at how to activate breakout rooms, how to create rooms before or during a session, how to assign participants to these rooms, how to add, rename, and delete rooms. We're going to be looking at the various breakout room options. We're going to look at how the host and the participant will interact in the rooms. We're going to be looking at how recording these breakout sessions work. And finally, we're going to be looking at tips on how to use breakout rooms. So let's get straight into it, guys. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the activation of the breakout rooms feature. And then we're going to look at creating these rooms. Now, to create these rooms, there are two ways in which you can do it. You can do it before the session begins, or you can actually do it during the session. All right, so I'm going to click on my Zoom client. And remember, guys, we did a training session before about all of this, how to download the Zoom client and so on. So we have a link to that video in the video description below, so you can check that out. And I'm going to look, now I'm in my Zoom client. I'm on the home tab, but I'm going to go to the meetings tab. And I'm going to look at the meeting that I want to start now, which is my biology class. And I'm going to start that session. And I'm going to join with computer and audio. Now, if you look, and I'm just going to maximize the screen now so you can see it on full screen. And I'm going to mute this session because it's just for demo purposes only. Now, this is my Zoom session for my biology 101 class. Now, if you don't see the control panel initially, just take your cursor and scroll to the bottom of the screen so your Zoom control panel will come up. And we are looking at to see if you have the breakout rooms icon there. If you don't see the breakout rooms icon, like how I'm seeing it on my control panel right now, it means that we have to activate that feature. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end the meeting. I just wanted to show you all the breakout rooms icon. So I'm going to end this meeting. So now I'm back to my Zoom client. So I can go back to home. And I'm going to click this little cogwheel here to go into my settings. So that's going to let me access my Zoom settings. And then I'm going to go to the bottom of that page and click on View More Settings. So I'm clicking on View More Settings. And what that will do is open up your web browser and you'll see some more Zoom settings that you'll have access to. So I'm just going to close this close the Zoom client now, and I'm going to go to my web browser. All right, so under settings, I'm looking for in meeting advanced. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to give me that section there. And the first thing in the advanced settings should be your breakout rooms. Now, as you can see, my tab is blue right now, and that's because I already have it activated. If you see it gray like that, it means that you have to activate. So let's click on it. Click on the tab there. It's going to turn blue. Make sure that allow hosts to assign participants to breakout rooms when scheduling is also checked. So you have a blue check there. So again, this should be blue, and you should have a blue, your box there for allow hosts to assign participants to breakout rooms when scheduling should be also activated. All right, now you may have missed it, so let me just uncheck it again. When you click on this, you get a confirmation saying at the above saying your settings have been updated. So you know that your settings have been updated. You don't have to click on a save button or anything. It happens automatically. So now let's schedule a meeting. So you just click on schedule a meeting. And what I'm going to focus on, so let's pretend that we already filled out all these details here. What I want to focus on is that if you scroll down, you will see now that you have the option to pre-assign breakout rooms. So remember I told you there are two ways in which we can create breakout rooms for a session. You can actually pre-assign your participants to breakout rooms before the session even begins. So before the class even begins, you can pre-assign breakout rooms, or you can do it within the class session itself. So in this case, we're going to click on this box here, breakout room pre-assign, and you see we have two options, create rooms or import from a CSV file. So let's click on create rooms first of all. Now if you click on create rooms, you're going to be clicking on this plus sign, and it's going to start up your first breakout room. And then you can click on the plus sign again if you want to create other rooms. All right. Now, and the thing is that on the right hand side now you can add your participants. So you can enter the email addresses of the Zoom accounts of your participants. So that's one way in which you can do it. Now this way will only work for your internal Zoom users. And what an internal Zoom user will be is that all the people that are within this under the same Zoom account. So for instance, this will be more applicable to like organizations. So like for instance, universities and schools and so on that have a master Zoom account where all the teachers belong to that Zoom account. Well, then you can use this feature where you add the participants directly. If you don't have that, where you are trying to create a meeting with people who are what we call external users, meaning that they don't belong to the same corporate account, then you want to import it as a CSV file. And my recommendation is to always go with the CSV file. It's much easier to do. All right. So I'm just going to cancel out of this, and I'm going to show you the CSV file function. So you're going to click on import from CSV, and then it's going to tell you, well, to drag and drop the CSV file. So if this is the first time you're doing it, you want to click download to get the template. When the template downloads, the CSV file is going to open up into whatever spreadsheet program you have there. So I have Excel installed on my machine here. So when I open the CSV template here, it opens up in Excel. So you have the different rooms and you have the email addresses. So remember, this is the email address that the participant would have used to set up their Zoom account. So once you have that information, you can put the different rooms. So you could rename these rooms. It doesn't have to be room 1 or room 2 or room 3. It could be whatever name you want for the rooms. And then you enter the participant names here. So you could add more rooms. So if you want to have more room 3s, you just add more rows of room 3s or more of room 1. So the idea here is that you have the rooms in this first column, and then you have the email addresses of the participants in the next column. All right. So I have already created one. So I'm just going to close off this template now. And I will go to my desktop and show you my biology class breakout room CSV file. So as you can see, I just have some rooms, room 1, room 2, and room 3. And I have the email addresses of the participants that I want to go in those rooms. So I have my CSV file prepared, it's saved on my desktop. It means that I can always use it for any of other courses that I may be teaching that requires these same participants in breakout rooms. Okay? So now I'm going to go back to the web page where I was scheduling the meeting. So I'm going to close this off for now. Okay, so I'm back to my meeting that I was going to schedule. If you want, I can just go back again. So let's cancel for this. So remember, you click schedule a meeting, you set up your meeting, and then you scroll down to the bottom where you click on breakout room pre-assign, and then you click on import from CSV file. And now we have created the CSV file. So you just take it from your desktop and you drag it into there. And as you can see, the 3 rooms have been created. So like for instance, in room 3, there's Christy and Jerome. In room 1, there's Ethan and Jovan. And in room 2, there's Helen and Jean. Just as how you set it up in your CSV file. And what you can do is that if you want, you can add additional rooms if you have to. All right, you can delete a room. So you just go to the room and look at the trash can there, click on the trash can that removes the room. You can also, within a room, add additional participants, or if you need, you can remove participants. You just go by the person's email address here and you click remove, or you can move them. So like for instance, let's say I wanted to move Helen from room 2, which is what she's originally in, to room 3. I just click on her name, I just hover over her name, and I click move to, and then I choose the room I wanted to move to in. So I just choose room 3. So now Helen has left room 2 and she's now in room 3. All right, and then we can save that. And what that means is that that's now saved for that session. So for whatever meeting you have set up there. So it means that when you actually start the meeting later on and you click on breakout rooms, Helen and Jean and all these other participants will go into their respective rooms automatically because you already set it up. So this is one way in which you can do it. All right, so we're going to look at now how to set up breakout rooms during the actual session. So it's another way in which you can do it. So in this example, we're looking at a biology class, and the teacher, Mr. Jason Matthews, having a Zoom session with his students, Christy, Ethan, and Helen. And the Zoom session is 60 minutes long. The topic of discussion is COVID-19. So the teacher has started the class, the Zoom session, and he's given a background about what coronaviruses are and so on. And later on in the session, he wants his students now to break up into small groups and discuss various topics about COVID-19. So he wants to create 3 breakout rooms or 3 groups. And in the first group, they're going to be talking about symptoms of COVID-19. In the other group, they're going to be talking about testing. And in the third group, they're going to be looking at what to do if you're sick with COVID-19. And the whole idea here is that he's going to break them up into groups, and they're going to discuss their topic for about 15 minutes. And then he's going to bring them back into the main session where each group will present what they discussed so that the whole class benefits from the discussion. So that's an example of how breakout rooms can facilitate this process. Okay, so we open our Zoom client, we go to the meetings tab, and then we choose the right meeting. So in this case, it's the Biology 101 meeting that I'm going to open. So I click start, and that meeting will open. I click join with computer audio, and I'm just going to mute my mic because this is just a demo. Okay, so I'm in my meeting. I scroll to the bottom. I see I have 4 participants. I have Ethan, Helen, and Christy, and my name's at the top here. So in this example, I'm the teacher and I've been speaking for a few minutes in the session, in the main session where I have all my participants, all my students there. But now I want to break them up into these small groups. So I go to breakout rooms I click on breakout rooms, and it asks me, but it sends that there are 3 participants or 3 students. All right. And it's asking me, well, what number of rooms you want. So I can use the up or down arrow to specify the number. So if I want to have 3 rooms, 4 rooms, and so on. So I'm going to click on 3 rooms. And then the other option now is that how do you want to assign the participants? Do you want it to be automatically or manually? Now, if you choose automatically, it means that Zoom will randomly take these participants, randomly take your students, and put them in these breakout rooms. The other option is manually, where you can decide which students go in which rooms. Now, with the manual option, I would recommend that you only use that if you have some very small classes, like you have small number of participants, because the more participants you have, this manual option will take much longer. And what you will have is that you have students waiting in the main session, and you are manually trying to get everything set up, and that takes time, and you could lose student engagement and stuff. So be very careful if you want to choose the manual route. If you choose automatically, then it's in a matter of less than a minute, you would have everybody in the breakout rooms. Now, if you really want to do manual, then you should consider the first option, which is what we discussed earlier, where we looked at pre-assigning breakout rooms and participants. All right, so in this example, I'm going to choose the automatically option, and I'm going to click on create breakout rooms. Now, when I have clicked on create breakout rooms, all it has done is create the breakout rooms, but the breakout room sessions have not started as yet. It's only when I click on this button here, open all rooms, will the students enter the breakout room session. All right, but before we go there, let's look at some options here. You can add an additional room. So like for instance, if you think, well, oh, the 3 rooms are not enough, I can add an additional room. And then you can click on assign to assign participants in that room. Now that would be like, for instance, if other participants came in and they want to go in a room, you can assign them to a new room. All right, in this case, we have already assigned all our participants, so they're already in their rooms. All right. You can delete a room, so you just have to hover over the room to get the different options. You can delete a room, or you could rename a room. All right, and you could put the new name there. So like for instance, I'll just put example. I click yes. So you see the room takes that name. All right, but in this case, I'm going to delete that room because we have no use for it. I click yes. Other things you can do, you can move a student from one room to the next. So again, you just hover over the student's name. So I'm hovering over Helen's name, and I click move to, and then I can move Helen to breakout room 2 or breakout room 3. All right, so these are just some options. You can also exchange students. Like for instance, let's say I wanted to exchange Christy and Ethan. I hover over Christy, I click exchange, and then I can either exchange Christy with Ethan or Helen, whichever one I want to. So like for instance, let's say I want Ethan in breakout room 3 and I want Christy in breakout room 2. I can exchange with Ethan, and there you have it. All right, the other options now, let's look at the breakout room options. If I click on options, these are the different options. So by default, it has these 2 clicked. Now, if I choose to click on this one, it means that move all participants into breakout rooms automatically. So right now I have it unchecked. And what that means is that when we open all rooms, each participant is going to get a message that your teacher has activated breakout rooms and it's asking you to join a breakout room. All right, that's if the box is unchecked, like in this example. If I check the box now, it means that as soon as I click open all rooms, all participants will automatically go in the room. They don't have a choice. So that might be if you have especially if you have a younger audience and you don't want them to be like trying to figure out what to do next, you can have that option clicked. The other option now, allow participants to return to the main session anytime. So if you have that clicked, what that means is that participants, in this case students, can leave the breakout room and return to the main session at any point in time. Now if I have it unchecked like this, it means that the participants have to stay in that breakout room until the breakout room session is over. All right. talking about the duration of a breakout room, you could specify how long you want your breakout rooms to be. So you could either manually close the breakout rooms when you think the session should be over, or you could actually specify, like for instance, you want this breakout room to be 30 minutes long, and you'll be notified when the time is up. Countdown after closing breakout room. So when you close the breakout room, the students will be notified that the breakout room session is coming to an end. You have a minute to close up your breakout room. All right, well, that's the default anyway, a minute. You could make it longer or shorter. So for some people, they actually change it from 60 seconds to 30 seconds because they find giving a whole 60 seconds to finish up is longer, but the default is 60 seconds. And the final one is that you could actually recreate the breakout rooms. All right, so that's another thing you can do. All right, so now I'm going to click on Open All Rooms. And once I click on Open All Rooms, it means that the students will get notified that the breakout room session is about to begin and they should join the breakout rooms. So when I click that, all right, you see that it's telling me right now that Helen, Christy, and Ethan has not joined. But they would have gotten the message that they should join. So as soon as they start clicking join on their machines, all right, so we'll see that Helen, Christy, and Ethan have all joined their breakout rooms. So you see that they already joined. Let's say, for instance, in an example, Ethan leaves the meeting for some reason. So we're gonna say in this example, Ethan leaves the meeting. All right, so you see Ethan leaves the meeting. And let's say Ethan joins the meeting again. So Ethan has returned to the meeting, but now he's not in a breakout room. So what we have to do, we can assign him to the room. So he was in breakout room 3, so we assign him to breakout room 3, and then he again will get the join notification. So once he clicks on join, he will be once again back into breakout room 3. So there he is. Now, when students are in their breakout rooms, they are able to share their screens and they have a lot of the host capabilities while in that breakout room. Students are discussing the topic in their rooms. They might come to a point where they need some clarification from the teacher. And they can easily do that by going to their control panel. And what they will see now is that there is another button there, a new button saying Ask for Help. And if they click on that button, so I'm going to say, well, in this example, Christy is going to click the button Ask for Help. And if she does that, she's going to get a message asking, do you want to invite the host to your breakout room? And if she clicks Invite Host, I'm going to get the message as the teacher saying, Christy in breakout room 2 asks for help. Now, as a teacher, you could join that breakout room or you could ignore it in case you're doing something else. But let's join the breakout room. So once I click on Join the breakout room, I am now in the breakout room. All right. I'm getting this message here, you're muted, because I muted my mic because it's just for a demo purpose. But right now, if I click on participants, I am in the breakout room with Christy and myself. All right, and there I can speak with Christy and whoever participants are in that breakout room and work out whatever challenge they are having. All right, when I'm finished, I can leave the breakout room by clicking the Leave Breakout Room button and return to the main session. All right, but let's say, for instance, let's create another example. Let's say I'm in this breakout room with Christy and I'm speaking with Christy and we're trying to figure out a problem. And then another student, Ethan, is having some trouble. So Ethan clicks the Ask for Help button. And he will also get the message, do you want to invite the host? And if he clicks on Invite Host, now I'm getting a message, Ethan in breakout room 3 asks for help. Now, if I click Join Breakout Room, what will happen is that I will leave the room that I'm in with Christy right now and go to Ethan's breakout room. All right. But let's say I'm still trying to sort out Christy. Then I can click later and Ethan is going to get a message saying the host is currently helping others. Please try again later. All right. So then when you're finished with Christy, you can actually go and join his room. So let's do that. Let's say I've clarified Christy's challenge. So I'm going to leave the breakout room that Christy is in. So I'm going to click that button there, leave breakout room. I'm going to return to the main session. And when I return to the main session, I'm going to click on breakout rooms. And I remember Ethan was asking me a question. So I'm going to go to the breakout room that Ethan is in, and I'm going to click join. And I'm going to click yes to confirm I want to join that room. And now when I join that room, and I'm getting this muted message here because as I said, I muted my mic. When I join that room, I'm in that room with Ethan. And once I sort him out, I can again leave the breakout room, return to the main session, and I can go back to the breakout room menu. And as you can see, I can join any breakout room that I want to. All right. Now I can also broadcast messages. So whatever I type in this box and I click broadcast, all participants in the various breakout rooms will get that message. So for instance, if it's coming down to the end of a breakout room session, you could put, hello everyone. You all have 2 more minutes. And when I click broadcast, it's going to go to each one of them in that breakout room. They're going to get the message. And then I can close all rooms. And then there will be the countdown, the 60-second countdown. So everyone is going to get this message that the breakout room is going to close within a minute. So as you can see, you have all your participants in the main session once more. So you could work with your students, have your students, now that they have returned, they have discussed their topics, they can now present to the entire class what they have come up with so that the whole class benefits from the discussion. And let's say now later on in the class, you're speaking again, but now you want to do small groups once again. Then you return to breakout rooms. All right, now in this case, it already has the breakout rooms from before. You could click open all rooms and that will send all your participants into the breakout rooms once again. Or you can click on recreate. And there you can change up the number of rooms if you want even smaller groups or you want to have bigger groups. And when you click recreate all rooms, it's going to recreate it, all right? And that's actually a good thing as well. Like for instance, let's say you want to mix up the students once more. So you don't want breakout room 3 to have the same students as the first breakout session. You want to mix it up, you can recreate the rooms and they will randomly be assigned those different rooms again. All right, so I'm going to end the meeting now. Okay, so we looked at breakout rooms from the teacher's perspective, the host's perspective. Now let's look at what the students would have seen or the participant view. So I've taken some screenshots that we could look at. So when we had clicked on the open all rooms button, you would have seen the students would have gotten this message. The host is inviting you to join breakout room 3. All right, so whatever student was in breakout room 3, they would have gotten this message. And what they have to do now is click on join. So I just, we're zooming in now into that message here. You just have to click join and the student would have gone into the room. Now remember, there's also the option in the breakout room options where you could choose that they automatically go in the room. So in that case, they wouldn't get this prompt. They would automatically go in the breakout rooms when you click on open all rooms. All right, this is just to show you all what their control panel will look like when they are in the breakout room. So it is almost identical to what it will look like in the main session. It's just that they have this new button, Ask for Help. So when they click on this button, then the host or the teacher will get a message saying that this student needs help, and they can leave the breakout room and return to the main session by clicking the Leave Breakout Room button. All right, and again, that depends on the options that you chose, because you could also choose that the students have to stay in the breakout room session for the duration of the whole session. All right, so if they had clicked on the Ask for Help button, then they would get this prompt where it says, you can invite the host to this breakout room for assistance. So then they would click on Invite Host, and then they will get a confirmation saying the host has been invited. Now, if the host or the teacher decides to join the room, then they will get a prompt saying the host is currently in this room. So it means that as a teacher, you got the invite from the student, and now you're in their room trying to find out what they need your help with. They're going to get a confirmation that the host, or in this case the teacher, is in this room. Now, for instance, if when the teacher, earlier on when I was looking at, I was in Christy's room helping Christy, but then Ethan had asked me for help, and I had clicked on later, what they would have seen is that the host is currently helping others. Please try again later. And this is how an example of how the broadcast message would have looked. So like if I had typed in the broadcast window, hello, you all have 10 minutes. This is how it's going to pop up for them on their screen. And then this was when I closed all the rooms. So then they got a countdown. So they got the breakout rooms are closed in 51 seconds, and you keep counting down. All right, and during that countdown, they have that time to now close up their messages or return to the main session. So this is what the participants would have been seeing, okay? All right, so some tips before hosting the session. Practice, all right? Don't let your first breakout room experience be in the actual live session. As a teacher, just give some practice. Make sure you know where the buttons are and so on. And plan ahead. Decide upfront, well, how many rooms, you know your class size. Decide, well, how many rooms you want to have. Also, is it that you're going to create the breakout rooms during the session, or you're going to create the breakout rooms before the session begins? All right, and then you're looking at, do you want manual or automatic assignment? You also want to prime your students, and what that means is that, let's say you were lecturing to them in that main Zoom session, then they might go into a kind of passive mode. So you want to say, hey guys, we are not going to break up into smaller groups. You all will be doing all the discussing. You'll be doing all the work. But if you need my help, just click on the Ask for Help button, and I will come in and I'll help you all out. Also, provide and review instructions. So before they go into these breakout rooms, tell them exactly what you expect from them. What are they going to be doing in these breakout rooms? Because remember, the breakout rooms should be, about some breakout rooms could be 5 minutes to 15 minutes long. And you really want them to make maximum use of that time. So make sure that the students know exactly what they're going to be doing when they go into that breakout room. All right. Now remember, whatever you are sharing in the main session, whatever screen share you are doing as a teacher in the main session, when the students go into the breakout rooms, they will no longer have access to that screen. All right. So like, for instance, if you have some kind of diagram or introduction or instructions or whatever, you should also have it, like, let's say in a Google Sheet, where you can share the link with students. So the students can take that link, and when they go in their own breakout rooms now, they can still open the link up and look at the instructions there. But remember, again, when the students go into the breakout rooms, they will no longer have access to that screen in the main session. So if you were sharing anything from your desktop, they won't have access to that when they are in the breakout rooms. So like if you have any instructions and stuff, don't share it on the main screen and then expect them to see it when they're in the breakout rooms. Give them a copy of it via a Google Doc link or something like that. When it's coming to the end, you can send a broadcast message saying, well, this is a 2-minute notification, it's time to wrap up. And then 1 minute later, you click the close all rooms button, and then Zoom will give them a 1-minute countdown to leave the rooms. So in this case, they're getting more than enough time to wrap up whatever discussions they're having and get ready to return to the main room. So some things that you should take note of. So you can create a maximum of 50 breakout rooms. Now the capacity of these breakout rooms will depend on the type of account you have. Remember, for a regular account, you can host as much as 100 participants. For a pro account, you can host a maximum of 300 participants, and then you could get those participants divided into these breakout rooms. For the pro account users, you could actually even increase that number of users if you acquire an additional large meeting add-on license. So that comes with an additional cost, and you must have a pro account to even access that. So that's something to explore if you think you need more people, you have more participants in these rooms. Now the type of recording matters. So like for instance, this will really apply to the people who have pro accounts. So if you have a pro account, when you click on the record button as the host, you have two options. You can record to the cloud, or you can record to your machine, to your computer. Now if you choose to record to the cloud, just remember that it will just record the main session. So what will happen is that it will record the main session, and then when you click on breakout rooms and you open up the breakout rooms, the recording will automatically stop. And it's only when you close the breakout rooms and everybody returns to the main session, then the recording will start again. And that's if you choose to record to the cloud. Now, if you choose to record to your computer, then the recording follows wherever the host goes. So for instance, like it will start recording the main session, but let's say you create breakout rooms, it will still record the main session. But if you will go to our breakout room, it will follow you there and record. So like let's say, like in the example before, I went first to Christie's breakout room. Well, then it will record that time that I spent in Christie's breakout room. And then when I went to Ethan's breakout room, it will start to record that time that I spent in Ethan's breakout room. And then when I return to the main session, it's going to record that. Now, if it is that you want to record what's happening in the breakout room sessions, then you could assign a co-host in each of the breakout rooms. So one of the students in that breakout room, in each breakout room, is going to record that session, and it will be stored on their computer, and then the student will have to send the recordings to you so that you can see what was happening in each breakout room. Now, most of the times, you don't really need that, because the whole idea of the breakout rooms is that the students will discuss whatever is in there in the breakout room and then return to the main session and present the information. But let's say you want the recording, for instance, for accountability, because you want to check after that each student in that breakout room had participated, but then you could do the co-host option where you have a student in each breakout room recording the session on their computer and sending it to you. So again, the type of recording matters. And it's important for like your asynchronous users, meaning that the users who did not attend the Zoom session and they're now relying on this session to see what's going on, just keep in mind that the type of recording matters. So people who are using the mobile app, so like on your phones and so on, or those who are using the H323 or the SIP devices, that's more like if you're in a conference room and so on, These participants will be able to participate, but they won't be able to manage a breakout room, meaning they won't be able to share the screens and so on. So that's just something to remember. And also, participants who are using Chromebooks and the Chrome operating system, they will not be able to join a breakout room. They will remain in the main room. So you could actually convert the main room into actual kind of theoretical breakout room for those people. All right, so remember what I said before. If you are pre-assigning people to a breakout room before the Zoom session had begun. Remember, there is something called internal Zoom users and external Zoom users. The internal Zoom users are the ones that have accounts within your organization. All right, and in that case, you could use this option here. All right, and remember to pre-assign participants. They must have a Zoom account and they must give you their email address that they use to create that Zoom account. All right, join before host must be enabled. If participants join the meeting after the host, those participants will not be automatically assigned into a breakout room. And in that case, what you'll want to do is click on the recover button that I showed you all before to assign these participants into their pre-assigned breakout rooms. All right, so you can see there that all you have to do, you just go on, click on recreate, and then you click on recover to pre-assigned rooms. And this will be for people who would have joined the session after the host. So if students came in late, you can always click on recreate and then recover to pre-assigned rooms, so they will be assigned into the various breakout rooms. Okay guys, so I hope this was informative and you are now ready to use breakout rooms. Please share your story, share your ideas. How do you use breakout rooms in your classroom? Give some examples. If you have any tips on how to use breakout rooms, please share it in the comment section of the video. Remember, this is We Can EduTech, meaning that we're going to do this together. So let's have a community of ideas. I'm going to learn from you all as much as you all are learning from me. So remember to connect with us at We Can EduTech. Please check our Facebook page, like, follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get, we're going to try to upload videos at least once a week. So once you subscribe to the YouTube channel and you turn on notifications, you're going to be notified as soon as those videos come on. And in case you have any questions or anything, you can always contact us at wecanedutech@gmail.com. Okay guys, so stay safe. We'll talk soon.